This story recounts a remarkable and transformative experience I had at the age of 42. It remains one of the most defining moments of my life, reshaping how I view existence, mortality, and belief systems. What happened to me challenges traditional cultural narratives and offers a new perspective on the mysteries of life and death. My name is Murari Lal. I was born in 1930 in Bharat, a small village in India. My family belonged to the middle class, with modest means and a strong foundation in Hindu traditions. Although I did not receive much formal education and could barely write my name, I worked hard in the fields during my younger years. Later, I managed to secure a job in a British government office, which was an unusual achievement for someone from my background. This marked a significant turning point in my otherwise ordinary life. The most extraordinary event of my life occurred on what seemed like a regular afternoon. I was feeling unwell and decided to rest on a mat. As I lay there, I drifted into a state between sleep and wakefulness. It was then that I experienced something beyond explanation. My vision blurred, and two glowing figures appeared, descending from above. These radiant beings had an otherworldly presence. Despite my attempts to speak, I found myself unable to utter a word. One of them placed a hand on my right shoulder, the other on my left. Without saying anything, they lifted me, and we began to ascend. Fear took hold of me as we rose higher and higher. Questions flooded my mind. Who were these beings? Where were they taking me? The earth shrank beneath us until it disappeared from sight. Time seemed to stand still. I could no longer tell how long we had been ascending. The experience was surreal, defying my understanding of reality and existence. Eventually, we arrived at a place that seemed beyond human comprehension. Before me was a vast space filled with countless people of all ages, standing silently. The atmosphere was heavy with significance. However, my journey did not end there. The beings continued to guide me toward an imposing throne. In front of the throne was an enormous book, open to its pages as if prepared for judgment. Seated behind the book was an elderly man, clothed in white robes, with white hair and a long white beard. His presence radiated wisdom and power. He gazed at me and then spoke to the beings who had brought me there. After examining the book, the old man announced something astonishing. I had been brought there by mistake. The intended person was someone from my village who shared my name and was close to my age. The revelation was shocking. As the old man continued, he revealed a detail that would remain with me for the rest of my life. He stated that I would live until the age of 92. Upon giving this command, the beings who had brought me began my return journey. The descent was terrifying. I fell rapidly, passing through what felt like endless space. The earth came back into view, growing larger until I felt a sudden jolt. I was back in my body. I woke up, drenched in sweat and struggling to breathe. My family surrounded me, their faces filled with shock and relief. They explained that I had been unresponsive for almost 3 hours and believed I had died. When I shared what I had experienced, they were amazed and speechless. What followed confirmed the strangeness of the incident. Just minutes after I awoke, news came that a man in our neighborhood had passed away. He shared my name and was slightly older than me. He had been ill for some time, which explained why he had been the one meant for that journey. The coincidence seemed too exact to ignore. Knowing the exact age at which I would die had a profound impact on how I lived the rest of my life. When I finally reached the age of 92, I passed away, just as the old man had predicted. However, the most puzzling part of this experience stayed with me. Despite growing up with Hindu teachings, what I saw did not match the beliefs I had been raised with. Instead, the images and events I witnessed resembled descriptions from the Book of Revelation in the Bible. This inconsistency troubled me deeply. Why did my experience reflect a belief system foreign to my own? Could there be universal truths that transcend religious differences? These questions lingered in my mind, pushing me to rethink everything I knew about life, death, and the possibilities that lie beyond. This extraordinary event reminds us how little we truly understand about our existence and the mysteries that await us.